It's funny because when I'm sitting down, this tower of buckets is almost as tall as I am. Hello friends, welcome to this month's Azure unboxing video, and it's actually pretty close to last month's as far as the playlist goes because, well, still getting settled in, still working on the regular videos, getting better about getting the content to you on a regular basis, but it's coming. Being back on Instagram too has just gotten content everywhere, right? But I'm happy to be back here, and I have some more videos coming for you very, very soon. But today, let's dive into our Azure Standard order for the month. As you can see, we have plenty of buckets. Now, if you are new to this channel, or maybe you're new to Azure, first I want to take a second to say welcome. My name is Amanda Willis. I empower families to wellness authentically through biblically rooted principles. And here on this channel, you'll find me sharing with you a lot of what our life looks like, walking that out practically, in hopes that then that helps to give you ideas of walking it out practically in your own life, as well as I have some tools for you. If you're not yet on my biblical health newsletter list, be sure you check out the free downloads down in the description linked below, and there's several different downloads to choose from. You've got the pillars of biblical health, you have tips for energy, tips for pain-free periods, all sorts of things. So without further ado, let's dive on in. Azure Standard, if you're not familiar, is a family-owned co-op, and you can order, they deliver all around the country, and you place your order once a month, and then they do a drop where you pick up your order. So our orders are starting, if you caught our video last month, then you know that we canceled our Thrive Market subscription and decided we wanted to put our money in towards Azure Standard instead of towards Thrive because we prefer to support Azure. And so our orders are starting to look a little bit different, but also as we're getting our food room together, it's going to even kind of shift and change a little bit more, and our bulk orders are going to look a little different each month. I've realized right now we're pouring a little bit more bulk into like fresh peaches, Palisade peaches. Anybody watching this that knows about Palisade peaches or Western Slope peaches, Paonia are pretty good too. I'll put Paonia right up there with Palisade. So if you're watching this, you are familiar with the Western Slope of Colorado, then you know Palisade peaches, Paonia peaches, they're the best peaches, hands down. But we're actually getting them here in Casper, and so I've got a couple cases of them, I've been canning them, all of that kind of thing. So our bulk food storage is, look, as we are learning more about living prepared and really working on the systems intentionally in our family, not just stocking random things, but being sure that we are buying things that our family is using and that we are going to work through and just on a rotational basis and have a good supply of them on hand. We don't want just anything and everything. We want the foods that are going to really fuel our bodies and support our family. So as we are learning that, I'm starting to figure out some rhythms and realizing, okay, I can't every month pour everything into Azure and then also pour into the farmer's market and getting all of these things canned in jars and all of this and canning lids and, you know, all the things. So I'm starting to get a rhythm, and if you have tips on that, I would love to hear your tips and tricks if it's something you've been doing for a while down in the comments below. One thing that I have really noticed is, okay, right now it's okay to focus a little bit more on the fresh produce that we can't get and that we can't grow. Or I guess technically peaches probably grow here, but not as easily and not as good. We've got crab apples coming, we've got choke cherries on our trees, we've got some things we're growing. But even as we're getting our garden established here on our new home, that's going to take a little bit for some of our other garden varieties, garden produce, some of the rest of our garden produce to really get established. And so it's okay that we're spending more on that here during harvest season when that is a big thing. And then come the fall months and the winter months is when we can really focus more on some of the other things, the dry goods, getting some of those canned, maybe getting some more jars, some canning lids, that sort of thing when they're even off season. So it's a little bit easier to get them sometimes supply-wise. So enough chatting, let's get to it. Buckets, clearly We have buckets and plates. So this is really loud, friends. Well, I was gonna try it. There we go. This, can I take the lid off of here? When I edit this, we'll go a little faster. There we go. If you're not familiar with camo lids, these are what are called camo lids. These are my favorite lids to use on 5-gallon buckets. And I did a video a while back. I'll be sure to link down in the description for you and up in the cards if you're watching this on YouTube, because, oops, I did a video on how to I was gonna say install, that's the wrong word. What is the word, friends, that I am looking for? How to put your gamma lid on to your bucket without a mallet. Because if you have a rubber mallet, that is hands down the best way to get it on there. But why do I like a gamma lid over just a regular seal? It's because once it's on there, it spins and comes off, and then it seals back down, and it's oxygen tight, or it's airtight. It is gonna keep rodents out. It's going to keep, you know, all sorts of anything out that you don't want to get in there, any critters, any insects or anything. And it's going to keep your food fresh in there by sealing it, but you can also access it easily. So when you want to be able to get in and out of, say, your beans or your grains, this is the gamma lid. Trust me on that one. Okay, unfortunately you can't pick your colors when you order them, just like in 3-packs and stuff. So typically you'll get them mix and match, but it is what it is. Okay, next up, I ordered some yogurt, and this is because I actually love to make our own yogurt, and I think I'm finally ready to be back in that rhythm. We've gotten a lot of our travel out of the way this summer, and I think I'm ready to get my starter going and get on top of it. But I need some yogurt as a starter, and yeah, I could have bought a small one, but this was at a decent price. I think it might have even have been on sale this month, if I remember correctly, when I did my order. And so it's just a plain whole milk organic yogurt, and this has active cultures in it, so it will be a great starter for getting our own yogurt going and then having a consistent culture going with that. On the dairy topic, I'm excited about this one. Oh, it's cold because it's been in our freezer since this morning. Move this guy a little bit. So this is what 15 pounds of butter looks like. Grass-fed, pasture access all year. This is Rumiano family organic butter. It's European style. We actually had not had this yet, but I've heard great reviews. I've heard it's fantastic. I trusted them. I bought 15 pounds of butter because butter is one of those things I don't like to run out of. And at just over $2 for grass-fed butter of 8 ounces, it's really hard to beat that price. Last year, I think it was last year around this time, I did find Kerrygold on sale, unsalted Kerrygold, for about, it was $2 per 8 ounces for half a pound. But I don't see that happening likely this year. And I didn't want to risk waiting for it and seeing. We finally used the rest of that butter because we stocked up a little bit what we could, but we were in our apartment last year, so we didn't have very much freezer space. And also it was, and also I've been making butter throughout the year too. And so that has helped to extend that. But as I get back into making some butter, I also wanted to go ahead and have a chunk of it. Now, I will tell you, because I pulled one of these out when I got home this morning from the drop, and made some eggs and rich man's toast. If you know what rich man's toast is, it's fantastic. I had some homemade sourdough bread with some fresh ground wheat that I had made. It was sandwich bread, and so I sliced some of that and used some great eggs in the middle with the butter. Oh my goodness, it was delicious and super nutritious. So I had a tiny sliver of Kerrygold left, and I compared the color. I already used them. I should have taken a picture. I'm sorry, I apologize. But I'll tell you, this was a little bit deeper yellow in color than the Kerrygold is. And the flavor, it matched it. it matched it. I never thought I would say I like another butter as much as I like Kerrygold, but I will say that this is a good investment. So this is going into our chest freezer. I say because butter will stay frozen and fresh very long and freezes very well. So hopefully this will get us through for quite a while, and some baking in the fall and things too. I may do one more of these next month or the month after. Butter's one of those things I want to have plenty of on hand. I want to have fats on hand. We've got coconut oil, we've got ghee, we've got olive oil, we've got some home rendered lard. I actually need to render some lard, but having the butter is fantastic. So next up, that was the Rumiano unsalted. Did I say that? I think I did. We actually don't have that many items this month. On sale were some sardines, and I figured our canned meat could use a little bit of diversity. We have tuna, we have some chicken, both store-bought and home canned, and I'm still working on getting more convenience meals and some other meats canned. But in the meantime, wild sardines in extra virgin olive oil. They're skinless, they're boneless, easy peasy, fantastic snacks, really great to have on hand for recipes and to toss into things, and good to have for emergencies too. So this is all, all the certification, like it's been tested for heavy metals, Whole30 approved, paleo certified, all those kind of things, if that matters to you. So those were on sale. We grabbed 3 of those. I went ahead and grabbed a tomato paste because that's on sale too. And though we're growing a bunch of our own tomatoes and I plan to can a bunch, I don't know how much paste I'm gonna make. And it's just nice to have it on hand for recipes sometimes. I actually think I may take this and freeze it into tablespoon servings so that it's pre-divided. I'm trying to decide. Maybe not with this one, but when I open it, maybe I'll do that. Because we very rarely need a whole thing of tomato paste, except for maybe in some of the convenience meals I'm making. So we may end up using it. We'll see. And I'm very happy to have some cayenne pepper, a whole pound of cayenne on hand to go try and keep the little 2-pound thieves out of our garden. If you know, you know. Squirrels love our backyard and they love to dig in our garden. So do the birds. We have a very active wildlife in our backyard for some reason with birds and squirrels. We do have a black locust tree, which I've read wildlife loves. And then we have the crabapple tree. So I think that impacts it too. But man, those little critters are eating the seed out of my garden and they've eaten my basil. I had to move the basil because when I kept putting it in the pretty planter that I bought for Outback, they ate my basil plants, they ate my oregano, my thyme is gone, all of the thyme that I planted because they ate it all. We need more cayenne to keep them out. And we have some tulle. So we're working on things. And then the very last thing we got in our Azure order this month was actually not food, because Azure carries some home products as well and everything. I bought something that has been on my list for a while. Whoops, as I toss it out. And that is a well-made boar bristle brush. So these are real boar bristles. I would love to run it through my hair, but that's not happening right now. I had a massage this morning, friends, and you know how when you get a massage, you tend to get real oily hair. So it's up. I'm swimming tomorrow in the saltwater pool and then showering and washing my hair, and I'll get to use this brush as my finishing brush, but it's a boar bristle one with a really solid handle. So boar bristles, if you're not familiar, really help to naturally distribute the oils in your hair and are supposed to be super helpful from keeping it from breaking and all sorts of things. So I have wanted a real boar bristle brush for a while, but I had trouble finding one and I did not want to order one on Amazon. So this is one that's made in Germany. That's where the other one I was looking at that's supposed to be better made was also made in Germany, and they're all natural wood. It's contoured nicely for your hand. Now I do know that if you're using this for like styling and stuff, typically it works better for thin or medium, for like thin hair and medium hair. However, if you're using it as a finishing brush, it's supposed to be okay for thick hair like me, because I have a lot of hair. but I'll keep you posted on how I like the boar bristle brush. There's a few, I had bought a brush from a network marketing company because I wanted to support a fellow network marketer. And so I had purchased a brush from them a couple years ago. It off-gassed, the plastic was so bad. They were made in China and it off-gassed so bad I had to go stick it outside. And the one had some boar bristles in it and it was like a combination brush. And I really liked that brush actually a lot, but it was so cheaply made that it did not last me long. Like they kept talking about how great their brushes were and you know, all the things. And no, did not last me very long. And the other brush is on its last leg. I had two from them, one more of a detangling brush and then one here. So I have like a neem comb on my list, and then I have one other brush too to use more as a detangling comb, and the basic styling before this is a finishing brush. Lots of hair product things, but I'm not one to typically go out and just buy a lot of that. I'm the like health person. If it benefits my health, I will do it. But if it's just beauty, if it's like health and beauty, different story. If it's just kind of like, oh, that's just a beauty thing, I have a harder time giving myself permission to do that. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. My husband was like, please just, if you need a new brush, buy a new brush. I was like, yeah, but do you realize these add up? So this brush was on sale and I think it was only it was $15 or $17, where the other ones that I had seen that were similar to this were like $30. So I will tell you, holding it in my hand, I like the quality of it, and I like, open it again. I like the quality of the wood, the feel of the wood, and I like that there is no off-gassing smell. So if you are sensitive to things like that, like I am, it's fantastic. There are some instructions on here on how to use essential oils to nourish it too, which is exciting, and how to clean it well. So I'll have to be watching that. But I'm excited to have it in with our Azure order too. That was a nice bonus, and just get it all together at one time. Hopefully that was helpful for you, gave you some ideas of some of the things that Azure had, some of the ways that we use different products and are working to live more prepared along our biblical health lifestyle, because preparing for whatever makes up, just living a prepared lifestyle, not prepping. I feel like two different mindsets in life, is also recognizing that if there isn't an emergency, whether it's a job loss or, you know, the inflation ends up crazy, or it's, you know, things hit the fan, or whatever, you want to still have nourishing foods. You don't want just all the stuff that you don't know how to use because you haven't been using it and you bought it for if maybe when someday, but you don't have any idea how to work with those kinds of foods, and they're not foods you normally eat, or they're not nourishing for the body. It's just calorie count. That's not going to fuel you, and you're going to end up with a harder time making it through those things, stressful situations, than you would if you had really good nourishing foods that will nourish your body, that will nourish your nervous system, that will take care of all of those things. So that's what I've got for you today. Until next time, take care, friends. Cheers.